and welcome to the Lunar Review. I'm your host Vanessa, and welcome to Aquarius season. So today this video is going to talk about the planet Saturn, because this is the planet that rules the sign of Capricorn and Aquarius. So when we think of Saturn, I think most people tend to think of those beautiful, glassy, elegant, icy rings that surround the planet. And I think it's a perfect metaphor for what Saturn represents, because he will limit things, he will contain them, and he clearly demarcates the boundaries. He will show you exactly how far that you can go. So it's the planet that is going to limit and bring endings to things. And this is a planet that is going to challenge you. And this is all in an effort to help you mature and grow. So a lot of the situations that Saturn will put you in are ones where the best solution is to exercise, discipline and self-control. The currency for Saturn is time, and it is time that you have to put in when you are mastering a skill. So this isn't some light, fluffy, superficial dive into something. This is mastery, which is a very Saturnian quality. Saturn will also bring you face to face with your fears. And this, again, is an effort to, not to thwart you or make your life purposely difficult, but it's to have you turn those fears into your strengths. And this reminds me of a story. When I was first practicing acupuncture in New York City, I had a patient who was a chain smoker, and he really wanted to stop smoking. And this man had stopped smoking about 5 years prior to seeing me, but then unfortunately had started up again. And this was a Hindu man, and he told me that the way he was able to quit that first time was that he prayed to his god Shiva. And Shiva is known as the destroyer. And what Shiva did was he gave him a heart attack, as he told me. So then it became very easy for him to quit because there was this fear for his life. So now this second time around, he told me he's going to do everything but ask Shiva for help. And I just thought this was really a perfect Saturnian story, because this man was now going to take the energy that he was funneling into his addiction, he was now funneling it into just sheer willpower, and he was going to do everything he could to quit, including acupuncture and Chinese herbs and hypnosis and a bunch of other methods. But he was not going to pray and ask Shiva. And it's just that Saturn is a planet that is not just going to hand out favors and gifts because you ask nicely or because you think that you are entitled to it. And this also reminds me of a story from the Ramayana, which is an ancient Hindu text. And in it, there is the antagonist. His name is Ravana, and he's the king of Lanka. He is half Rakshasa, so he's half demon. And he wants to become more powerful. So what he does is he engages in this spiritual practice called tapasya. And so this is a very austere practice. You have to fast, you have to sit in quiet meditation and contemplation without moving, not just hours, days, weeks, months, but for years. And he had to make every effort to self-realize. And he was doing this all for Shiva, so that Shiva would reward him with a boon. And eventually he did this so well that Shiva took notice, and Shiva did a dance of ecstasy and granted Ravana powers. Even though Ravana had ill intent and was evil at heart and was going to use his powers for evil, nonetheless, he did the hard work, and therefore he was rewarded. He was granted these powers. So Saturn can be very generous when you have actually done the hard work. So his rewards can be very long-lasting. So if you gain a high position in society or in business or some sort of status, or you acquire lands and gains, wealth, then most likely this is going to last through time. This is going to endure and maybe even pass down to future generations as your legacy. So words like self-motivation, ambition, and being goal-oriented are very Saturnian gifts, but they really have to be utilized, and you'll know that you're using them and that you're on the right track when you actually have some tangible results and material gain. Saturn is also that part of our psyche which is cold-blooded and just needed for our survival. So we can compare this with the planet Mars. Mars is the warrior. Mars is, the fighting spirit. It's the survival instinct. It's lust. It's raw power. It's where you can go mad with power. And Saturn, though, is the cunning and the strategy that underlines the force and physicality of Mars. So, Saturn thinks and calculates with, this cold-blooded precision and can view life without emotion and very objectively. And what's interesting is Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So what Capricorn does in Mars, it tells the warrior to slow down, stop, think. This way we will be more deadly and more effective. So Capricorn can effectively rein in, and take control of the beast within. So Saturn does seek excellence and perfection and only will allow the most fit creatures to survive, and this is how nature keeps its balance and harmony. So we can see this in the wild, mothers that abandon their offspring when they don't feel they have a chance to survive, or alpha males will humiliate, injure, sometimes kill the beta males. And again, this is an effort to keep nature in harmony. So of course, as humans, we have a much broader emotional range. So we allow for more possibilities than the law of the jungle. We have empathy and compassion, which is embodied in the sign of Pisces. We have the sign of the mother, which is love and nurturing, fertility. This is embodied by the sign of Cancer. So we have all of the power of the zodiac at our disposal. Saturn is also called Lord of Karma, Lord of our past deeds, the judge. So you will always be given your due. You will either be rewarded or punished on your own merit for your deeds. And I would say your thoughts. However, sometimes you may wish someone was dead. You might hate someone that much, and you might be given the opportunity to take them out and not get caught. But you don't, because your humanity gets the better of you. And Saturn will take note of that also, how you were able to objectively look at the situation and override your passions. So, if you are heavy, you'll sink, and if you're light, you'll float. There's no bargaining with Saturn. Here, where I am in India, if you walk into the market, the asking price for an item could be sky high, and if you're good, you can get it in half, or if you're really good, you can get it for a quarter of the price. But this is not so with Saturn. There's no haggling. Saturn is also referred to as Father Time, or the Grim Reaper, the one who just ends it all. And Saturn really wants you to take a slow, measured, disciplined approach to the way that you do things. And in that way, you will more likely be rewarded. And also, there are some experiences in life that only come with time, that with, the aging process comes a certain amount of wisdom. And I would say that there are also the these Saturnian qualities of being a bit heavy, a bit sad or weighty, and having this pessimism because, you know, those with Saturnian qualities can really see how all things end, decay, and die. And however, there's also a beauty to this and a profound understanding about the way that the cycle of rebirth occurs. You know, the Grim Reaper takes something down and then Mother Nature replaces it with life. You know, that whole matter can be neither created nor destroyed. And before the invention of the telescope, Saturn was our outermost planet. It was the darkest, dimmest star of them all. It was the end of our known universe, the end of our physical world. So Saturn is our jailer, our protector. And I find it very telling that the planet of Jupiter is encompassed within the Saturnian boundaries, because Jupiter is the planet of expansion. We'll just go, go, go. And you need Saturn to say, no, I'm not letting you expand. We're going to stop, we're going to halt, so that I can give you a framework from which to live. So Saturn brings order out of chaos. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I've got another video about Saturn in the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius, and this one will talk about how Capricorn is yin and Aquarius is yang, and therefore how they differ. Thank you. Till next time, take care.